Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another Yukon Bob video. Special day today. It is my birthday today. It is a Monday today, the 2nd day of June, and can you believe it? I am 68. How did that happen? I am 68 years old today. Heading out on the Seadoo today. It's going to be a day to head down to Lake Ontario. Normally I always go north. Today I'm going south, going to put the boat in at the Seadoo in at Bluffers Park and take a ride over to the inner harbor of Toronto. It's a ride I usually do once a year, and it's always usually a little bit earlier in the season. It's not all that warm today, maybe going to hit 19-20 degrees. Of course it'll be colder on the water out there, but winds maybe should be 15, 17k, 18. Hopefully it's not too choppy. We're going to find out, I guess. But that's the plan for today. On my B-Day, I'm going to take a ride on the inner harbor of Toronto and just have a look at the skyline. It's a ride I do, like I say, once a year, and today's the day. So come along as we take a look at the inner harbor and the skyline of the Big Smoke. Okay, we have arrived at Bluffers Park, and I have a feeling it's going to be a little choppy out there. This little inner bay here looks okay right here, but I think once you get out onto the bigger water, it could be a little bit bouncy down there. Great launch site though here at Bluffers Park. If you guys ever want to come down here and launch from here in the Toronto area to get onto Lake Ontario, this is all free Monday to Friday. The launching and the parking is all free, but you do pay on the weekends, and there are pay stations right here to buy a ticket and all that kind of stuff. But Monday to Friday, at least that's the way it's been in the past. I haven't looked this year, but I assume it's the same. It's free launching, free parking. And there's two launches. There's one right there, and then there's another one over there. They're big, wide concrete pads. You can almost launch two boats on each one of those ramps at once. So lots of room down here. All right, let's get a few things onto the Seadoo. We're going to at least go out and check it out and try it out and just see what it's like. But you can see by that flag over there that the wind's a little stronger than what I thought it was going to be, and the air temperature is a little colder once you get down near the lake here. Definitely be needing a jacket out there. Plus, it could be a little bit bouncy. Okay, let's get some stuff hooked up. Check this out. We got company here at the launch site. A couple of swans. Looks like they're tagged, or one is tagged anyway. Yeah, a couple of swans here to greet us as we put the Seadoo in the water. I've seen them out on the lake here around this area before, but I've never seen them this close. I hope they don't attack me. Sometimes those guys can be kind of vicious, particularly if they've got young. And you know what you call a young swan? A cyglet. A gosling is a goose, a cyglet is a swan, but I don't see any young with these ones, so maybe they're not breeding this year, I don't know. Got both pant legs fairly wet putting that Seadoo in the water. I should have taken the pants off, just used my shorts to put the Seadoo in the water, and then put the pants back on. Now the pants are going to be wet for the rest of the trip. Just had to walk in a little further than I thought I would. I've also got to get a longer rope for that Seadoo for tying it up a little bit. When I push it off the end of the trailer, I can barely reach with the rope and push the trailer off the end of the Seadoo. I need a longer rope. I just don't have that together yet. The last time I bought a longer rope, what happened is the rope dragged in the water a little bit and I sucked it up into the impeller. So there's trade-offs here. All right, she started right up, no problem. That's a good thing. Always nice to know the battery's ready to go. I did give it a quick test at home before I pulled it out of the yard. I always like to just start it for a quick second just to make sure it's going to engage. Don't want to get to the lake and find that you've got a dead battery. Even though I am carrying a battery booster with me, one of those, what is it called, Norco, something like that. I just carry this battery charger with me that'll jump the Seadoo if I had to. If I ever wound up with a completely dead battery out on the water, I could give it a jump start. So it's a little bit breezy. It's not high wind or anything, but I think once I get out there, chop's going to be fairly high out there. Not high. It's going to be enough that it's going to be a bouncy ride, I think, but I guess we'll see in a minute or two once we once we get out there what the water conditions are going to be like. But I probably got, I don't know, 15, 17 kilometers to go to get from here down to the Toronto Inner Harbour and get back in behind Center Island, which is off the shore of Toronto. We get back in behind there, so it could be a little calmer back in there, but we got a little bit of open water between here and there. It's a beautifully, nicely sheltered little marina or launch area here at Bluffers Park. This is the park a lot of people from Toronto come down here and bring picnic lunches and stuff like that. Just spend the day down here because there's a lot of green grass around and picnic tables and stuff like that. And then just down over that way, around the corner over there, there's a great big marina down there too. So there's a lot of people who keep their boats right down in this area. And that's all the park area all the way along there. This water, by the way, is really, really cold. You would not last long if you were to go into that water. It's just very cold. And you see what I mean? There's already this little wave action happening out here, just kind of rolling along. So it might make for a bouncy ride. We'll see. Well, let's give it a try. Let's see what we get. Are already watering. This whole area along here is called the Scarborough Bluffs. Big, tall clay cliffs. See that little peak there, that little notch up there? I've flown the drone over here a couple of times before, kind of flown the drone through that notch. And then where I launch from is just around that point right over there. That's where the launch is. Yeah, this is the Scarborough Bluffs. And way down that way is where we're going. And that's where the city of Toronto is. There's a bunch of beaches along the way on the way down there. And it's about, I don't know, 15K or something to get down there. Look at this great big slab of concrete that's in the water right here. There's a couple of chains hooked onto it. I wonder what the purpose of that was, why somebody put that out here. Huh. Just a big slab of concrete in the water. Don't think we'll do much drone flying, if any, today. I brought the drone along, but once you get closer to the city of Toronto, of course, that's a no-fly drone area. Can't fly the drone anywhere down there. You could fly it right here, and I have in the past, but yeah, don't think I'll put it in the air today. We'll just make this a less stressful trip today. Just switched eyewear a little bit. I put these things on. I think they're called bobbles or bobberts or something like that. I used to use them on the motorcycle years ago. They kind of have like a little suction thing around the eye. It really helps in terms of wind pressure on the eye. And my eyes were just starting to water a little bit out here, so switched to put these on for a little bit, and I think that'll help out quite a bit. Also got some gloves, may put those on because it's not the warmest day out here. It's bright and sunny, which is kind of nice, but as I figured, the temperature on the water is a little cooler. It says 7 degrees. Just along the shoreline here, heading down towards Toronto, there's all these really neat little beaches. They're not really accessible to walk to, I don't think, although I think I have seen people out here without a boat, so they must walk all the way from where I launched back there, all the way along the shoreline to get out here, but kind of a little bit inaccessible unless you've got a boat of some sort, but beautiful little beaches to kind of pull in, park. Some of them got sand, some are just that light pebbly gravel kind of stuff. But if you want to just kind of get away a little bit, have your own secluded little beach, this is not a bad spot. Just some swell action out here a little bit. You know, you can get a forecast for here that says the winds are going to be light, 10, 12, 14 kilometers an hour. But if it's been blowing the day before or the night before, this is a big body of water, Lake Ontario, and it takes a while for the lake to settle down. So even though the wind seems pretty light out here right now, there's just these rolling swells that could be just dissipating from whatever conditions we had the night before or the day before. That facility up there is a Toronto water treatment facility right on the lake. It's an old kind of a historic building. Occasionally when they have public buildings in Toronto that are open to the public for certain days to go and have a look, this is one of those places that is open. I've always kind of wanted to come here and have a look and just see what the heck it looks like inside and what the process is like for treating water, but it's kind of got this old historic kind of feeling to it. It looks like a prison or something, but apparently it's just a water treatment facility. It's getting a little rougher out here now. We're getting a lot of kind of cross chop out here. I'm getting wet. The water is now hitting at certain angles and just splashing over the top of the Seadoo and up on me. I got a little ways to go to get around to the inner harbor yet. I still got to go around that point up there. Look at this. You can see it's just coming right over the top. The gunnels are starting to fill up with water. And I got to get around over there yet and come back in there. I'm close to getting into a little more shelter, but this just kind of cross chop out here now. It's hard to kind of predict what. Look at some of these swells are like 3 feet, 4 feet now. Whoa! Okay, for the sake of YouTube and my audience, I'm going to put the camera away for a few minutes and soldier on in, see if I can get out of this a bit and get around the point and get into a little more protection, because this is not a lot of fun. You got to put this phone away before it gets wet too. That was not a lot of fun. I am completely soaked. Just the chop on those waves and the varying angles pounding over the bow of the Seadoo. It's just a section of it out there, but the sad part is I know I got to go back through that to get back home, but I've now kind of made it through, I think, the worst of it. And then this is Center Island right here off the shoreline of Toronto, and the skyline of Toronto right over there. So I'm going to go down there and go around. It should be calmer back in there and not as rough, but I will have to get back out onto that open water and cross it again on the way back. Pants are soaked, jacket's got a little wet. That water is extremely, extremely cold. It would not be a good thing to go into that water. You would not last very long. Even in a dry suit, if you're wearing a dry suit, wouldn't make that much difference. Okay, I think the worst is done. Let's get around the corner up here. It should calm down a bit. That's the thing about a Seadoo, or a personal watercraft. It's either the fastest thing on the water or the slowest. Once you get into chop like this, you just got to slow the speed down and roll along with it. Take a look at the size of this ship parked right in here in the Toronto Inner Harbor. Looks like a great big rust bucket. Could use a paint job. I don't know what the cargo would be on something like that. It's obviously got all those cranes for lifting things on and off the ship. That's a pretty big ship. That must have come in all the way from the St. Lawrence Seaway, all the way into the Toronto Inner Harbor, but I have no idea what the heck they're loading into that thing. Looks like it's scraped the side of a wall a few times all the way along there as well. Imagine what it would cost to paint that thing. That's a lot of paint. I've just had to wipe all the lenses off, get all the water droplets off the lenses. I didn't really pick the best day to come down here. I'm going to get in along the shoreline over there, might be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm really limited in the number of cameras I'm able to use off the Seadoo today because I just can't keep the lenses clean on those cameras because the water is bouncing here so much that it's just splashing over the top of the Seadoo and soaking everything. I wipe them off and then there's water all over them again. So here's a little shot. We're just right in along the waterfront here along the Harbour area. Some of the skyline of Toronto there. Always like that building there. I think they did a great job architecturally on whoever designed that. Just like the colors in it. Looks like two condo complexes connected by that skyway across the top between them. It looks like there's units in there as well. That'd be kind of nice to have a unit up there. You'd have a beautiful view. Nobody's going to build in front of you there. There's the Westin Hotel right on the waterfront. Whoa! You can see what I'm saying though about the water, eh? It's just sloshing right over the top of the front of the Seadoo. And then back onto me. The footwells have got water in them. So I'm kind of standing in water. How'd it go, Bob? Great way to spend your birthday. It's an adventure today. An adventure out on Lake Ontario. Hey, somebody got that building all wrong. They got everything out of whack here. All those things should be lined up. They're all crooked. Yeah, nothing like the sound of fire trucks in downtown Toronto. There's a water taxi right there. Well, let's make our way a little bit further down along the waterfront. Trying to keep the Insta360 camera out of the water so I don't have to keep wiping the lenses on it. So I'm kind of keeping it up a little bit higher here off the selfie stick. Hey, there's a little waterfall right up here. Let's go up to that a bit. Kind of neat with the CN Tower right in behind it. This has always been one of the most colorful shots on the water. All these kayaks and canoes that they have for rent right here. Always a pretty sight. And then there is the Rogers Center and the CN Tower right behind it. Let's get a shot back this way with those buildings in the background. Can't get more downtown Toronto than right here. Some people out enjoying the sun today. Their pants are not soaked like mine are. Probably done this trip, I don't know, 4 times, maybe 5, 6 times, something like that. Been down here and gone over into Toronto Island over there and gone all through the waterways over there. Not sure I'm going to go over there today just because it's so darn rough out here that I'm just getting too wet. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's just that kind of day. Surprised these microphones are still continuing to work. They've been splashed with water. The batteries seem to be okay in them. Having to wipe the lenses a few times, but the batteries seem to continue to work. Well, maybe I will take a run over to the island over on that side. It could be calm right along the shoreline over there, and eventually I'm going to have to make my way out around that way again to get back around. So maybe I'll just put the camera down for a second, take a run across there. All these white marker buoys all along here are all showing that it's a restricted area. That's the approach path to the Billy Bishop Airport. The runway is just over there, so no watercraft vessels are allowed anywhere on the inside of where these white markers are, and they go all the way across here on the front. And then the airport just over there. The first time I was out here, I got in behind them somewhere, and I didn't even see them. I don't know how I didn't see them because there's so many of them. But I was down near the end of the runway taking some pictures of planes landing, and there was a truck down there that came by with a loudspeaker on it telling me to get the heck out of the area. I was in a restricted area. As soon as I pulled out, I saw all these markers. I thought, how the hell did I miss all of those? These channels in around Center Island will all be fairly calm. I think we'll engage cruise control. And then we just ratchet it up a little bit. I think it goes up to about 9 kilometers per hour, something like that in cruise control. Maybe 10. Forget what the manual said. 10, 11, something like that. Just allows you to take your hand off the accelerator and just cruise along. God, I looked back over there when I was going along the waterfront of Toronto Island. These gunnels were completely full of water on both sides. The water was starting to flow over top. So I had to kind of gun it to spit the water back out because the Seadoo was getting pretty heavy in the water. Little mallard. There's a swan. It's these swans right along here that once attacked me. I was coming by here on the Seadoo, just like this, just cruising by. And they came right out after me, chasing me along. So I think they must have had ciglets with them. They're young. Well, I did bring a sandwich with me. Stopped at Tim Hortons, grabbed a coffee this morning, had that already. But I did bring a sandwich with me, a ham and cheese sandwich, so I think I'm gonna find a spot here to either eat it off the Seadoo right in here where it's nice and calm, or find a little beach area that I can pull into. Starting to get a little bit hungry. Didn't have any breakfast this morning. No, I had a piece of toast. Time for a sandwich though, before I go back out into those choppy waters and fight my way back to where I launched from. There it is. Is it squashed? At least it's not soaking wet. Yeah, that'll be perfect. I think I'll just eat it right off of the Seadoo so I don't have to pull it anywhere. That's actually pretty good. I was hungry. Brought an apple with me, and I think I bought an apple fritter from Tim Hortons as well, so I've even got dessert for this lunch. Really neat bridge up here. We'll get a shot of that as we go underneath it. You'd never know it's blowing and choppy out there, would you? Not from riding around it here. So just pulling out of the Center Island channels and moving back out onto the the waterway in between the mainland and Center Island. It's going to get choppier back out there. I think I'm going to wrap this video up right here, guys. I've had better trips into this area. It's kind of nice right now, but I know that once I get around the corner up there, we're going to be fighting the wave action again. So I'm just going to wrap this video up here and put the camera gear away and get ready for that trip back on the rougher water. And say thanks a lot for coming along on this Yukon Bob video. A quick trip to the inner harbor of Toronto. We'll see you guys hopefully on a little sunnier, well, it's not too bad sun-wise. The sun's okay. Just we need a little calmer water out there. Thanks for coming along, guys. We'll see you on the next Yukon Bob video. Till then, stay safe, and thanks for clicking in.